Okay, welcome back to another ChatGPT, elevate your skills learning kind of video, if you will. I don't like to highly produce these right now just because of the fact I want to get these out here because things are ever changing, and the more you have experience, the more you have awareness, the more you have visibility to these things, the faster you can get going. So I just want to get these out here quickly. But again, just a refresher, ChatGPT, great tool, AI tool to be able to help you get through your day. You can ask it questions, you can teach it things, and keyword teach, not train. You can teach it things based on documentation, based on whatever you're doing, right? So I can ask it, and you can notice I did things. What is the current cost of living in New York City? Right, so I'm using ChatGPT 3.5, but I do have access to 4 because I do pay for this. But as you can see, it gives you information that is accessible. Now, one key thing I like to tell people, and this is something my mentor taught me, and that is confirm and verify. Always confirm, always verify. Do not take things at face value, especially these days with AI, right? So confirm and verify, but it's going to give you a great way, a great starting point to be able to do things. One thing I like to do is photography, and videography and filmmaking and all those things, right? But so this is an idea I got from another YouTuber who trained or taught ChatGPT to be a prompt engineer for photography, right? To be able to give me settings, to be able to do things, because I want some inspiration. I go to different countries all the time. If I'm in Mexico, I want to understand, maybe, give me an inspiration for a Mexico, landscape scene, or maybe in Italy or France or wherever, right? But you can tell it to do that. And once you do, then you can edit your prompt and give it something else, or just give it something new, right? So there's a lot of different things that you can do. And I'll leave the link to his video down in the description so you can get access to this by signing up to his email group. And it has great examples in there on how to teach ChatGPT to be a great prompt engineer. So this particular chat, and by the way, it's persistent, meaning it's going to remember everything. So when I come back in here a week later, I can say, okay, now give me this, right? And it can do that. So when I go over to Discord, which is where you use Midjourney, specifically, you can tell it the prompt you want it to do, and it will give you that example. Another key thing to do, another tip or trick to not have such randomization, is add a seed number to this. And I won't talk about that in depth, but if you add seeds, you're going to get the same images, but with just some tweaks that you want to have. So if you don't want so much randomization, add a seed to your prompt. All right, so once you've taught ChatGPT, how to do something, whether it's to be a geologist, a photographer, food expert, whatever the case may be, now you can just go back into that chat and continue to use it, right? So for this example, I want one that is, I don't know, let me think of I want some inspiration to go do some photography. So now an example of a street photo in downtown, let's just say Mexico City. Okay, that's all I'm going to give it. And it's going to give me that prompt very quickly, by the way. And this prompt, I'm going to copy it and paste it into Midjourney, and it's going to produce that photo. It's going to give me that inspiration. Now, a lot of photographers out there are like, hey, it's going to steal our jobs. Look, AI is not stealing anybody's jobs. The whole goal of my channel, when I started it out, was to basically give advice, teach people how to do things, right? The whole goal of this is to elevate your skills. So let these be tools to inspire your creativity and inspire teaching something new. I don't know how to program a particular network device. I can go ask ChatGPT to do that for me. So then I can start learning how to program something new, right? So back to this, that prompt is done. I'm going to go copy this, and you'll notice I'm not copying this V5 because my Midjourney is set to default at version 5, so I don't need to do that. So I go over here into Midjourney, and I also pay for this. So you can do this in the public version, but I do this in the Midjourney bot. And I type imagine, and I paste that prompt in here, and as you can see, it's here. I can choose a 3x2, which is a standard photograph, but I can also do a 16:9 if I want. But you're gonna notice that it gives you all the settings that you need, which is very, very helpful if you want to learn how different cameras work, right? So you can see this is doing it with a Fujifilm X100V, but I can change that if I want to a Canon. As you can see up here, I did to an EOS R5. And that way you can get an idea of what settings are going to be. But most of these settings pass on to every single camera. I carry a Nikon, I carry a Canon, I carry a GoPro, whatever the case may be. And I can usually put all these settings in, and it really comes close. And then whatever editing I do for the photo, there you go. Right, so I'm gonna go ahead and submit this. And there's updates to this constantly. Now, when I did this one earlier, it gave me a button to cancel it. Now this one's not. So again, there's just changes constantly, hence why I'm not putting a lot of production value in these, but to give you the idea of how to do this, right? So really focus on, if you want to be strong in the AI space, get strong with prompt engineering. There's, again, a lot of different tools that you can just drag and drop things into, but the better you are with prompts, the better results you're going to get. While this one's producing, as you can see, I did this one just before I started this. I said, I want a network room with telephone devices, right? And look what it did. It gave me a pretty darn accurate, and this is great for stock photos, right? I could take this and sell it to a stock photo site if I wanted, with a caveat. Again, confirming and verifying these aren't already existing images. So what I'll usually do is upscale them and go do a reverse engineer or reverse image lookup in Google to make sure it's not, and then try to submit it to the stock sites and see if they'll actually accept it or not. 99% of the time they do, sometimes they don't. But this is your art. You're creating this with your prompts. You're creating this with your mindset on how you want to look at things, right? So again, there's a lot of ways to be able to do things. I also create logos. I also create t-shirts, whatever the case may be, I do that. So as you can see, here it is. It's almost done based on that prompt that I asked for of a downtown Mexico City. And I'm going to open this up, and you can see this is pretty darn detailed. That does look like downtown. This does not. This actually looks like a side street. But you can see it gives you a great way to go do some street photography, get some inspiration. It doesn't have to be exact, but it gives you ideas on how to go do something new, elevate your skills. All right, so that's that. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comments below. I'll try to answer as many as I can. If you have any questions, if there's any prompts you want, I'll be happy to share. That's why I'm here, to share my knowledge of what I'm learning so you all can elevate your skills as well and go be great prompt engineers and get using the AI tools as another tool in your tool bag or toolbox. All right, so have a good one. I'll talk to you later. See ya.